Goeiedag, good day, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world. Now, I'm going to take you back on a little bit of a historical tour. In 1973, at the age of 18, I flew on my first holiday alone to what was then Rhodesia. And the country was under basically attack by terrorists from three corners or three sides. But the Zim dollar, the old Zim dollar, was stronger or worth more than the rand, and the rand was worth more than the US dollar back then. So it was a very stable, very strong currency. Now, in 1971, Nixon took the US dollar off the gold standard, and that's where fiat money came in. And if you don't know what fiat money is, please guys, just go and on YouTube, just type FIAT, like the Fiat car, space money. You're going to get a lot of videos which will explain to you exactly what fiat money is. It's bullshit. There's nothing backing it. And a perfect example of what I'm talking about is what happened in Zimbabwe. Consider this. Did you know that I'm a trillionaire? These are just bits of paper with numbers stuck on them. They mean absolutely nothing. 100 trillion Zimbabwean dollars. It'd be cheaper to put that on your wall for wallpaper than to actually go to a shop, a hardware shop, and buy wallpaper. That's what fiat money is about. It's all bullshit. Which brings me to the subject of this video. We have a number of farmers around South Africa, and it's a growing number. This is the hidden travesty that is happening right now in South Africa, in particular, because it is happening elsewhere as well. But these white farmers who've been working for generations on their farms in places like the Free State, the Northern Cape, Gauteng, Limpopo, wherever you go. I mean, these farmers are now having huge pressure put on them by banks like the First National Bank. And I'm going to be calling for a boycott of the First National Bank. I'm calling for anybody who's got a banking account with the First National Bank to shut it down, close it down, get out of there, go to one of the other banks, go to ABSA, or just get out of First National Bank. And let's show First National Bank what happens when they target our farmers. And we're not doing this just because we're being spiteful or because we are there to just single out the farmers for protection. We're there because the farmers produce the food. Now, I had a long discussion with Davy. I put up a video earlier yesterday morning about his situation with the First National Bank, where basically they've told him to get off his farm and they're going to repossess it, and, you know, it's all over, Red Rover. Now, Davy is still fighting this battle, but we need to fall in behind him, and that there have been suggestions of GoFundMe campaigns and other sorts of things. I'm saying to you guys, especially if you've got a big business with First National Bank, shut it down and move to one of the other banks. And when you shut it down, say to the bank manager or the corporate guy who you're probably dealing with, the reason I'm doing this is because what you are doing to our farmers in the Free State. Let them know. These guys are mercenaries. They don't care that they're destroying generations of farming expertise on this land. Davy said to me earlier, well, late last night, it was actually after midnight South African time, we were still talking on Skype. And he said to me, look, I've got a loan of 10 million rand with FNB. It sounds like a lot of money, but my assets are way above that, and they know that. But this is what has happened since Ramaphosa brought in the expropriation without compensation. And you can understand what's happening. He said that nobody now wants to buy farmland. So what has happened is when the banks go in to value the land, he said just 2 or 3 years ago, their land was valued at 80,000 rand. That's 80,000 rand per hectare. And because of its high valuation, they were able to get the loans to run their farming operations. And that's how business operates, okay? But now that expropriation without compensation has come in, the valuers now value their land at somewhere around 30,000 rand per hectare, or 30,000 rand per hectare. Now, that has had a huge impact on these farmers who've got loans to actually plant their crops. And remember, they've been going through years of drought, so they have been under pressure. But because the valuation has changed, these farmers are now technically bankrupt. And this is why the banks like the First National Bank, instead of saying, hey guys, you produce our food, we will go in and support you, no, they're shutting down these farms. Now Dawie, just as a single farmer out there at Bultfontein, he's got several workers, farm workers, Africans, who've been with him for 40 plus years. When he has to shut down, they're going to have to move into a township and starve like the rest of the black population under this corrupt gangster ANC government. And in fact, when the sheriff of the court came to Dawie's farm earlier this year, basically warning him that he might have to get off his land because of the banks, the FNB. You know who actually confronted the sheriff? Were 2 of his own farm workers, black guys, who said, you put foot on this farm again and we will kill you. They were furious when they heard what was happening. But you've got this absolutely soulless organization called the banking industry. And what I find extraordinary is we have this seemingly explosive discussion about who is a racist and who is not, and we are completely ignoring the elephant in the room, which are the big banks in South Africa, which are destroying the food security of the country. They are destroying it. They are killing it. And if you don't believe me, the video that I've got attached here from Dawie, I received it just a couple of hours ago, was taken yesterday on his farm. He is still going to be planting his crops for the last time. And believe me, he is not in a good state. You know, I love Dawie to bits. He's a channel hero. The amount of money he's donated to the squatter camps and things like that, he is an amazingly generous man. Got a wonderful heart, but he is absolutely devastated. And it's the First National Bank that's doing this to the farming industry, guys. That's why I'm asking you, please, 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 if you have a banking account with the First National Bank, if you have a fixed deposit with the First National Bank, if you have anything to do with the First National Bank, even an insurance policy, cancel it. Get out of there. Go to someone who actually deserves your money, not someone who is going to destroy the food security of South Africa, which is exactly what the First National Bank are doing. So when you go to your Spar shop in a month's time and you see the price of maize meal has gone up by 100%, because there's a shortage of maize meal, because the banks are shutting down the farms. Think about it. This is absolutely disgusting, and it is not being talked about in the mainstream media, because guess who's going to be the beneficiary of those farms when they've been cleared out. Expropriation without compensation. Yeah, the black privileged, the ANC. This is absolutely disgusting, guys. I look, as I said, I was on the phone, not on the phone, on Skype with Darby for about an hour. And he just told me a whole lot of shit that would make the hair stand up on your back, on your head. I mean, it's just disgusting what these banks are doing to the farmers, who're having a rough time anyway. And here's the kicker. Darby said that if this continues, there'll probably only be 3 or 4 farmers left producing food in the entire Bultfontein area. A huge farming area, produces a huge amount of maize, sunflower seeds, pecan nuts, all sorts of things. I mean, a huge amount of stuff. That's going to go. You're taking that out. How do you replace that food for the South African population? And you know who's complicit in this? Is the ANC government and the farmers' unions, except for, and Darby made this point in the discussion, he said, except for the Transvaal Agricultural Union, or the TLU. Now, I've actually had a live stream with the guy who runs the TLU. He says the TLU are fantastic, but he says the Free State Farmers Corporation, Agri-SA, all these sort of guys are complete waste of space. They're doing nothing to bail out the farmers. Doing absolutely nothing. And as you know, Ramaphosa, he's getting kickbacks from trophy hunting on a piece of land that he owns which borders the Kruger National Park, which doesn't have a fence. And if you don't believe me, go and have a look at the video that I posted just yesterday about this very issue. This guy is as corrupt, as devious as any other of the political leaders, including Ace Magashula. He's just smarter about the way he does it. And while he's doing this, while he's destroying South Africa, the bedrock of what comes onto your breakfast plate in the morning is being destroyed by the banking industry. And guess who's a director of 2 of those banks? Yeah, your president, Cyril Ramaphosa. Guys, I just take you back to the Zim notes. You know, absolutely extraordinary. Let me put my glasses on. I can't actually see the values of these things right now. Yeah, here we go. This is where the South African rand is going. Okay? Look at that. 100 trillion rand. Or sorry, 100 trillion Zimbabwean dollars. That'll be the face of the rand not so far in the future. If you've got a pension and you think you're just kind of making by, the money you get from your pension, once the rand tanks like the Zim dollar, you won't be able to go and buy a cup of coffee with the money you get every month. You know, this is how the country is being screwed by the big banks, by this corrupt ANC government. This expropriation without compensation has had a devastating impact on the farmers. Absolutely devastating. Now, what I'm going to be showing you now is a video that Darby took on his farm. And he's going to show us the farm that borders him on both sides. So there are 2 farms. Both of them have been shut down by the banks a couple of years ago. There's no production on those farms, which collectively amount to something like 9,000 acres. 9,000 acres of productive farmland lying sallow. There's nothing happening. It's just the weeds growing where they used to be planting their crops. And the only productive farm right in the middle is Darby's, which is now threatened to be going the same way. You talk about food security. Darby said to me, he said, look, Scott, you have to understand that this is going to have a devastating impact on the price of food in South Africa. Devastating. And I'm just saying to my subscribers, guys, if you can, buy, prep food so you've got stocks, because it's going to be like investing in some weird thing that just goes pew. Because by having that food, when the price of maize, let's say, goes up from 3,000 Rand to 5,000 Rand to 20,000 Rand, you bought it down low. And of course, when people are starving, it's not good, because they've got to somehow get food for their families. And when you look at South Africa today, and you look at Malema, you look at it as a terrorist organization, I don't know what the answer is, guys. But I can tell you that just the night before last, I had a discussion with Harry Boyens, a historian, and he said it's time for the people in South Africa, and he was talking in particular the minority groups, including the coloureds, the whites and the Indians, it's time for them to man up and stand up and say, we're not going to take this anymore. Otherwise, it's not going to be a pretty picture. Okay, I'm going to play this video. Please remember to subscribe to be kept informed. Ring the bell for the updates. Please like this video. Please share this video. And above all, please stay safe, guys. Bye for now.
So Davy again. Here's the fields that have been prepared. There's a peanut harvest planted there on this field here. And I'm going to now go over on the east side of the boundary of my farm and show you how my farm looks like, where the banks have taken over. This farm is lying here for about 2 years now. There's no one who wants to buy them, because all the farmers in this district is basically they haven't got any money left. So let me show you a productive farm of over 400 hectares. You can see for yourself. This is what happens when there's basically no hope left. This is one of our biggest farmers in our district, and yeah, it's sad to see, but this is what happened on the eastern side of my border fence. So I'm now on the western side of my boundary fence. Yes, the fields being prepared for the maize crop. And now I'm going to show you another 400 to 450 hectares of agricultural land in South Africa. But it's just lying here, unproductive. There's one of the biggest black wattle plantations in South Africa. That plantation is over 100 hectares. It was planted here for the mines, for the construction inside of the tunnels. Now the mines in the Welkom region is also in dire straits. So we don't know what is going to happen here, but here it lies. It's sad to see this. It's sad to know that one morning South Africans is going to wake up and food prices will be so high that nobody can afford food. There is a problem now already in the South African economy. The sunflower price has gone through 9,000 rand a ton. Never in history with the sunflower price that high. The maize price is already through 3,000 rand a ton. So it doesn't matter because our input costs have more than doubled in the last past years. So yeah, we can only pray that FNB is going to help us stay on the farms. We tried everything. We even tried to give the farms to our farm workers to farm. We tried to persuade the bank to help us with a BBE scheme so that we can at least give the farms to the workers, and we could have helped them to go and farm on here. But even First National Bank hasn't got any BBE schemes. So everyone is talking about this stuff, but nobody has it on their books. That's all I can tell you, sir. I'm just asking for the people of the world to just know what is going on in South Africa at this moment.